So I decided that I want to die peacefully like my grandpa, not screaming in terror like his passengers. Hey, it's a dad joke. It's supposed to be stupid. Hey, why not Webby fans? I want to give a shout out to Civ1 Defense. In an increasingly dangerous world, it's important to make sure you're equipped to defend not only yourself, but loved ones too. But just buying a firearm isn't enough. Untrained, you're a danger to yourself and others. If you live in Florida, be sure to check out Civ1 Defense. This company has top-notch instructors with decades of real-world experience. I've already taken classes, and it's well worth the time, cost, and effort. Be sure to check them out. See the link in the description below. Hello everyone, this is Captain Odo, here to teach you something new about Star Trek that maybe you don't know. Those of you who are Trekkies probably already know. Today I want to talk to you about USS Enterprise. What does USS stand for? Well, in the real world, it stands for United States Ship. However, in the Star Trek universe, it is translated United Space Ship. So now we get to the nomenclature for the ship itself, NCC 1701. What does NCC stand for? Well, in the real world, there is actually no such nomenclature. But production designer Walter Matt Jeffries combined the American Civil Aircraft prefix NC with the Soviet aircraft prefix CCC. And in order to shorten it and make it more artistically nice, he made it NCC. And so in the Star Trek universe, NCC stands for Naval Construction Contract. And that's your Star Trek trivia for today. Live long and prosper. Make it so. Grab your favorite beverage and get yourself comfortable. It's Webby Story Time. Welcome to Webby Story Time. Today I'm going to share with you one of the more traumatic parts of my childhood. This all took place when I was 5 years old. I was in kindergarten. But today I'm reading off the notes because I kind of want to tell the story as accurately as I can. And yeah. Anyway, let me get started. Okay, so kindergarten. I was a 5-year-old little boy, just like any other, silly, always wanting to play, and things like that. So, and I was playing with a bunch of toy cars that belonged to my neighbor's son. I don't remember if the boy's name was Austin or his family's last name, but they lived next door to us, and I'm just going to call him Austin because that's all I remember of the family as far as the names go. So Austin and his family were going to visit relatives, and so, but he had a bunch of Matchbox cars, which I wanted to play with, and we were actually playing outside together, but he had to go and all that. So he gave me a stipulation. He said that I could, the stipulation for playing with the toy cars was that I would have to leave the bag of cars between the screen and front doors, because in Hawaii, you have your regular front door and then there's a screen door in front of it, because it's hot. A lot of times people leave the front door open but lock the screen door, or back then, I don't think we even locked doors back then. But anyway, because it was the mid-60s. So anyway, I had the stipulation I had to put the Matchbox cars back into the bag and put them between the front doors. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to play with them again. So I'm out there. We lived in a 2-story apartment complex, and so we're on the second floor. And I'm out in front of the walkway between our apartments, and I'm playing with the cars. As I play, I get the strangest feeling that I'm being watched. You ever have that happen to you? I look around and I don't see anybody, so I just go back to playing. But that eerie feeling just, the kind that gets around your neck and shoulders, and it just wouldn't go away. I couldn't shake it. I look around several times and I don't see anyone. So I'm thinking, well, this is the evening. The sun's going down. Maybe I'm just, getting nervous out as it gets darker. So I just continue playing, but that feeling wouldn't go away. And so I look around again, but this time, since I've already looked, both left and right and looked out across from the balcony on the second floor, didn't see anything ever. So this time I happen to look up, and that's when I see it. And there's a chill that ran through me. It was like cold lightning. It was that fast. And there's a physiological response. And all I saw, and this is, remember, I'm 5 years old, so the imagination is strong, right? But I see this thing looking down at me. It's someone or something is on the roof. And I see these fingers over the edge of the roof. I see this big, oddly shaped head with no hair. It's 2 big black eyes, and they're just staring at me. And total silence. They're not making any sound. They're not calling to me. Just up there perched and looking. I scream. I jump to my feet and I'm about to run to the house, but I remember my stipulation about the toy cars. So I run back quickly, throw them into the bag, shove them between the front doors, and then I zip off and run into our house. Yeah, so even when terrified, I'm responsible. Yay me. So as quickly as I can, my little legs run to our front door. I open it up, I run in, frantically, almost crying. I manage to shout to my family, "Something's out on the roof." And it was watching me. My dad, both surprised and irritated, asked, "What do you mean something's on the roof?" And I shout back in my panicked little voice, "I don't know what it is. I think it's a monster." As a little child, right? You don't know what something is. It's a monster. So this irritated my dad even more. He was watching one of his favorite shows on television back then, which back in those times, there weren't a whole lot of channels. Everything cut off at midnight with the national anthem and all that. And I know that he loved watching the Honeymooners and the I Love Lucy show. I think it was the Honeymooners that were on, though, if I remember right. But it was a long time ago. So anyway, he is, needless to say, getting kind of angry with me. But my mom, seeing I was genuinely terrified, shouts to my dad, "Yay, Mom." "He's frightened. There's someone out there and they were after our son. Go check it out." So my dad is reeled into reality, a bit alarmed that there's someone he may have to defend his family against. Yet at the same time, he doesn't want to show any fear, so he rolls his eyes as he gets up. And as he's heading to the front door, he grabs a baseball bat that was up against the wall, opens the door, and cautiously looks out left and right. There's only 2 places people can come from that, where we lived. And so he doesn't see anybody, so he goes out, he walks down to the one side and then the other, making sure there's nobody around, looks out over the balcony, doesn't see anybody. Then he looks up at the roof where I said I saw something or someone, and he doesn't see any sign that anything had been there, what kind of sign would you see unless it left something, right? So anyway, he's more grumpy than ever now. And when he comes back into the house, he kind of growls this out. He says, "Nothing out there. You happy? Just this kid's stupid imagination getting the best of him again." And this, any dialogue I'm sharing in this story, some of it is correct because I remember. The rest is fabricated just to get the point across. Okay. In this case, that was one of them. I don't know the exact words he said, but I do remember the part about just this kid's stupid imagination getting the best of him again. But I was still terrified. I'm over in the kitchen. You know, my dad goes back to sitting on the couch watching the show. I'm terrified. I'm hugging my mom. I've got my arms around her waist, and I'm crying as I say, "I saw something, Mama. And there was something out there." And my mom, she's always been, you know, the loving comforter, and she's holding on to me and patting my back, saying, "Everything's all right. Daddy checked. Whoever was out there is gone. You're safe now." And she asked me, you know, "Would you like some hot chocolate?" And I nodded, feeling the sense of happiness flowing back into me. And perhaps this is why, even to this day, you know, when I reflect back on this, maybe that's why I always find comfort in hot chocolate. Well, to be honest, any chocolate, right? Maybe that's where it stems from. That's my guess, anyway. So my mom offered hot chocolate to me, and my dad, hearing this, of course, he chimes in, and he's kind of being sarcastic. He says, "Hey, how about some coffee for me? I just scared away the monster." And so my mom gets angry, and she, you know, she yells at him, "Stop it. No need to make fun of him. He saw something." And my dad's response was something along the lines of, yeah, whatever. Sure he did." And so for the rest of the family, that's the end of it. For me, just the beginning. But it would be years later, decades even, because it was decades later where I'm walking through a mall with my family. We lived in Maryland then, you know, from Hawaii, and now I'm in Maryland. So it was a long time after. And as we're passing a bookstore, I don't remember which bookstore it was, but it was one of the two big ones that always, you know, was in the malls and had their displays outside. For the life of me, I can't remember their names. There was Barnes and Nobles, and there was one other. What was the other big one? Anyway, you might remember. I'm not going to look it up. I could, and I could find it, but that's not really the point. So I'm going to continue with the story. So it's decades later. I'm walking through the mall with my family, and as we're passing the bookstore, I noticed a display for a new book that is in front of the entrance. On the cover of this book is an artist's depiction of what this alien species, the Greys, allegedly visiting Earth for decades, looked like. Upon seeing the face of this alien on the book cover, I am shocked and shaken to the core. I mean, it was like someone had punched me in the face. It was a shocking thing. I felt a sense of panic again. And for just a moment, my mind flashed back to that second-story balcony, and everything around me faded away as I relived that moment. The moment when I saw that very same face staring down at me, and that cold chill just ran through me again. I felt my limbs going numb, my head began to swirl. I got to the point where I felt like I was going to lose my balance, and I'm not sure why I'm not sure why I was so shaken by the possibility that that what I saw was real, rather than just a child's imagination. All I knew was it felt like the blood had drained to my feet. My breathing became rapid and shallow. Anxiety was off the charts, and fear flooded my soul. I lost all interest in shopping or of having a relaxing time at the mall. That wasn't going to happen. Something inside me wanted to run and hide. I spent a lifetime learning to be logical and to analyze everything around me. Yet in that moment, I'm just that I'm just I'm just that frightened little 5-year-old boy looking for comfort. But this time my mom's not around. So sorry to disappoint. As far as I know, I was not abducted. No such memory of anything like that. So here's where the story ends for me. It was just one of those crazy things that happened, and then years later, reliving that moment just out of the blue, And it's so weird. I'm trying to tell the story, and when I get to that part of reliving it, that really hit me. So, yeah, maybe something else did happen. I just don't remember. But, yeah. Anyway, that's the story for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next one.